Private money. Private money, there are so many things that go into private money and hard money and things like that where you're borrowing from somebody else to get financing to for your business or for real estate, which I invest in real estate rental properties. I use private money all the time. My students use private money all the time to buy rental properties. But what to watch out for? What are the terms? What should you really look out for when you're getting private money to make sure you're not going to screw it up or actually be in a bad with somebody who is giving you money? Hey guys, my name is Dustin Heiner with Master Passive Income, and I want to help you learn how to quit that JOB, that just over broke job, by investing in real estate rental property so you never, ever have to work a job again. Now, as I was saying, I invest with private money. I use other people's money to buy real estate rental properties. Could be friends, it could be family members, even acquaintances or other businesses that you run into, or investors that really want to make a better return on their money, and you offer them that. Now, the question comes up all the time is, well, what should I look out for? Like, what are the problems? What are the hangups? And what should I make sure is always in the private money contract that I'm getting with a private money lender? Now, the first thing you need to really look at is the dollar amount of the loan. Now, I personally suggest not borrowing any more than you actually need for any specific deal. Like if you're buying a real estate rental properties, if you're starting a business, you only, let's say you need $50,000 to start the business. Don't borrow 80 because you're going to be lending on 80. But if you need 80,000, then borrow 80,000. So you need to look at what you're going to be doing with that money. I'll give you an example. With me, when I'm buying real estate rental properties, I know a rental property is going to cost me, let's say it's $80,000 to buy the house. Literally cash, outright $80,000. But I don't want to borrow $80,000 from a private money lender. I want to borrow just the down payment. 20% of $80,000 would be $16,000 for the down payment. So I would go to my private money lender and say, I'm getting a loan. I need a down payment, $16,000 to get that loan. I would like to borrow $16,000 for you. So what would happen is obviously it's less money, because a regular mortgage is only going to be like 4%, 3.5% right now with the interest rates as they are right now. But if you're going to get a private money lender, they might be 8, 9, 10% or more. So you get better interest rate if you have a bank giving you a loan. So that's something you got to think about. How would you use this money to best serve your business, your rental properties or whatever? That's a big, big key that you actually need to figure out before you get the loan. And another thing that you can do is actually hit that like button, because I really appreciate that you actually get all this great stuff so that you can invest. So hit that like button right now so more people can see it. And YouTube can share this out with that algorithm that just loves that like button. Another thing about private money and hard money lenders is you need to look at the duration of the loan. How long is a loan going to be good for? It could be 30 years, which is not normal. I'll give you that right now. Private money lenders, hard money lenders especially, hard money lenders want their money in and out as fast as possible. And so they're usually 6 months to a year, 2 years at the very most, it seems like to me. Like the average is about a year to 2 years. But private money lenders, they might be a little more lenient or willing to lend the money out for longer because they have longer interest rate. That's something you got to talk about. Give you an example of how you can talk about this to a private money lender. Let's say you want to borrow money for 2 years. You know you're going to use it for 2 years, let's say for your business or your real estate, you're buying real estate, and you're utilizing it for 2 years, but you know either you're going to make enough money to pay off the loan or you're going to refinance that house. Like if you buy a house for rental property, you refinance it and pull that cash out to then pay off the hard money lender and then, or the private money lender. And then now you have a full loan on the property, which is great. Now, I literally teach everybody how to invest in real estate. I want to get you started investing in real estate. Get my free real estate investing course absolutely for free. Check the link in the description, masterpassiveincome.com/free course. It's all one word. I'll show you how to find good properties, how to even invest out of state, how to make sure you're not losing money, how to make $250 a month in passive income from every single property. And with 10 properties making you $250 a month, that's $2,500 a month in passive income. If you had 20 properties, that's $5,000 a month in passive income. And $5,000 a month, that's $60,000 a year. So get my free real estate investing course, masterpassiveincome.com/free course. Along with the duration of the loan, you're gonna have to look at the interest rate. What is the interest rate that you are going to be able to pay your private money lender or your hard money lender? Now, you're going to look at what they would normally get. The big key is looking at what your private money lender would normally get at a bank. They're lending their money. Let's say, I know a savings account is literally like 0.01%. It's horrible. But a money market might be 1.5%. So you got to be above that. But you also need to calculate in the risk that they are doing, giving you the money to invest. And so that risk might be an extra 2 or 3 points on top of whatever they can get someplace else. So what they're also going to look at is, hey, this guy's going to borrow from me for 3%. Well, I know banks, he can't even borrow from banks at 3%. I'm much more valuable than a bank. So you got to put all these into your brain to figure out what's a good rate. My suggestion, probably start at like maybe 3% above what a normal bank would. Because remember, this is a shorter term loan. It's not going to be a 30-year loan. You're hopefully going to refinance, pull the cash out, pay off the private money lender so you can buy another property with their money all over again. So what you want to do is maybe get 2 or 3% above what is a normal mortgage rate for you at a bank, and then start as being the negotiating starting point. Let's say you're getting 3%. Add 2% on. Maybe let's say 3. You're at 6% interest payments for the private money. They're saying, well, I want 10%. Well, I'm at 6, you're at 10. How about 7.5%? Oh, they'll probably come down. How about 8.5%? Eventually it'd say, okay, you know what? The best I could do is 6.5%. Like, great, 6.5%. And what if they say 10% is what I need? I need to get 10% on my money, but you're at 6%. You say, well, I can go to 7.5%. Right? Well, 7.5% is enough. We can come down a little. How about 8.5%? Well, eventually you're going to meet, let's say 8%. I was at 6, you were at 10. We're basically in the middle. Let's just go to 8%. I'll give you 8%. And then great, we negotiated out. They feel like they won a little bit because they brought you up. You won a little bit because you brought them down, and you're at 8%. So think about the interest rate on top of the duration, how long it's going to be, how long the loan's actually going to be. Another big thing that you need to be thinking about is points, or basically, what is it going to cost to get this loan? How much money is it going to cost that you're going to have to pay somebody upfront, not interest. This is not interest. This is how much you're going to pay to actually get the loan from this private money lender or hard money lender. Same thing with a bank. Now, usually you won't pay points, but sometimes you might have to pay 1 or 2 points, which is 1% of the loan amount. That's what points mean, is 1% of the loan amount. Now, a lot of banks will not charge you that percentage point just to get the loan. They have an origination fee or something like that. They have other fees. But with private money and hard money lenders, they're going to say, just for you to borrow my money, to start out, I want 1%. So if you're borrowing $80,000, man, that's 1%. That's $800 that you got to pay the private money lender right up front. So you got to be thinking about how much it's going to cost for you to get the loan, let alone the interest and how much you're going to be paying in interest over time. Now, let me give you a tip that can help you really do well in this investing. It's a win-win for you and the investor as well. So there's a thing called a balloon payment. This is another thing you need to consider, is a balloon payment. The balloon payment is basically saying at the very end of the term, remember how many years? Let's say it's 5 years. At the very end, I'm going to pay you the entire balance at the very end of that 5 years. Now, don't be worried. Don't be thinking, oh, I got to come up with that $5,000. No, just refinance or get a loan from someplace else or, renegotiate, something like that. But what that does is that pays off the loan at 5 years. But here's a tip that you can absolutely use. You can say, the loan is going to be a 5-year loan with the balloon payment after 5 years. But what you can do is amortize the loan over 30 years. Now, what that does is it makes your payments much, much smaller. If you have a 5-year loan, your payments are very, very high because you got to pay that entire principal really, really fast in 5 years. If it's a 30-year loan, that's why 30-year mortgages are fantastic. Your payments are super, super low. Your interest payments are really, really high, but your regular payments are very, very low. So now what you do is you say, okay, private money lender, I'm going to borrow money from you for 5 years. I'm going to give you a balloon payment at the very end, either refinance, but basically I'm going to pay you all your money back and the interest and the points, but we're going to amortize it. Amortizing is basically the payment schedule for 30 years. So the payments are going to be 30 years, but after the 5th year, I'm going to make a balloon payment. So with that balloon payment at the very end and amortizing over 30 years, you're going to have a substantially lower monthly mortgage payment because it's going to be so much cheaper. And a big thing you need to watch out for are prepayment penalties. Let's say you have a 5-year loan and the person that's lending you money, the private money lender or hard money lender, they're saying, I want to make sure that I get as much interest as possible. You cannot pay me off within 4 years. Like in 4 years, if you pay off the balance of the loan, there's a penalty because I'm not making that interest that I would normally be making. So what they have is a prepayment penalty. So you want to watch out for that. If you're going to sign one with a prepayment penalty, you need to make sure that as you're going through and itemizing out how this loan works out, you know before in advance how soon you can pay it off. And by the time it's actually getting paid off, the payment penalty is gone, or you have accounted for it. Let's say, for instance, you have a prepayment penalty in 4 years as opposed to 5. So in that 4th to 5th year, you can pay it off in full. But before, let's say you want to sell the property and you still have to pay back that loan. Well, at year 3, you're like, man, it's going to cost me, $1,000 to actually pay back this loan, this prepayment penalty. That's kind of a lot. It might be $250, might be $500, something like that. But you account for that. You make sure that's accounted for when you make that prepayment penalty. It's okay to have a penalty. You just know it going in advance. Now, this is things that you really need to know when you're doing private money and hard money. So make sure you're doing that. If you got anything out of this video, I would appreciate if you liked this video and subscribe to my channel, because people need to know that you can absolutely invest in real estate. And I want to show you how. All right, guys, we'll see you in the next one.